So I know it's been a week now, but we do want to still talk about the ban list because I figure the analysis would be really important to actually understanding what this upcoming format will be, since the next ban list will be expected around January the 13th. So this was a very small list, but that being said, it will still do some kind of effect, and it will basically give us a good idea as to what we're going to have to deal with for this particular format. But we're just going to start right away. We have Guard Dragon Argopane and Nightmare Mermaid, just the two cards here being banned. Perfect cards to actually talk about in conjunction with each other, because Argopane is definitely a very key card into actually bringing out extra deck monsters for free, and I think that for this particular card it made sense for it to get banned. While it wasn't particularly broken, it was actually a very I guess too potent of a card. It was something that you would see in too many decks, and because of that it kind of got a bit stale, and you just didn't want to see, you know, the same deck all the time. So as a result, it kind of had a good reason to actually be hit by the ban list. That being said, Guard Dragon Piston LP will still be viable to actually play, and I don't think that they're ban worthy enough, because now that we've lost Argopane, there is no need to hit Piston LP. As for Nightmare Mermaid, same case. I mean, most people are playing Orcusts, and it's definitely very interesting to see that they're able to be splashed in so many different decks, and because of that, Nightmare Mermaid just gave so much versatility to Orcus, but I think by banning it, it will definitely slow down the deck quite a bit here. It's not going to be as splashable anymore, and yeah, it's joining up with Nightmare Goblin, which was hit a long time ago already. I mean, this was several formats back, so that's two of the Nightmare cards hits. I really doubt any more Nightmare cards will actually be hits, but that being said, these are the two cards that pretty much took away the diversity in the actual format itself. So seeing these two cards go, hopefully we could see more diversity in this particular format. I want to see a more bigger variety of decks to actually go up against, rather than just seeing the same old Guard Dragon deck, or rather Orcus deck. Now, as for Limited, it's very obvious this card we all saw coming, and that is Widow Anchor going to 1. This card was definitely just a very powerful card. The conditions were very easy, and you're just able to take your opponent's monsters as well as also negate their effects as well. It's just really good. I mean, we have a similar card to it, that being Crackdown, but the thing is this, you're not negating the effects, you're just taking the opponent's monsters, and they could also go back as well. Widow Anchor is just a quick play spell, and it negates and also takes the monster. I think it's just far too easy. It's just really good. So there's no surprise there. There's nothing else to really say about it. If you guys were actually expecting Engage to be hit, that would be not too bad of a suggestion, or not too bad of a guess, but I think Widow Anchor is significantly a bigger problem than Engage. I think now that Engage is at 3, I don't really think there's a big deal. I mean, what can you really search for? You can search for 1 Hornet Drones, 1 Widow Anchor, and 1 multi-roll, but aside from that, you have the 3 Engage to search out everything else, and I don't think anything else is really significant to actually be hit by the ban list. As for semi-limited, again we only have one card, and that is Dark Dragon. I really don't understand why this card had to just go to 2. I feel like it could actually just come off the ban list. Maybe it's just another way of actually having something be affected in the semi-limit list. But that being said, I do have a lot of confidence that Dark Dragon will just come off the ban list by the next one. So there's not much there to be said. Now, as for Unlimited, I'm very happy to see that there's actually a big number of cards that actually just got taken out of the ban list. I've been pretty much expressing this for many ban list analysis videos now, but I have said that I do want to see more cards come off the ban list rather than going on the ban list. I think that it's a great way to just keep things a little neat. Things are more manageable. It's very simplistic, and it shows that the game doesn't have too many big problems, and seeing that all these cards are just coming out of the ban list is fantastic. I mean, we have a total of 9 cards off the ban list, meanwhile 4 cards actually being hit, or rather, if you look at it in this sense, Dark Armed is actually going from 1 to 2, so technically 10 cards are coming off the ban list in a sense, and 3 cards are being hit, so that's still a very, very good number. First card is Chaos Emperor Dragon. Makes no big deal in this particular sense. It's been errated, so really not much to talk about. There's going to be no impact with it whatsoever. But we do actually have Destiny Hero Malicious, and I figure I might as well talk about him as well as Stratos together, because with both of these cards actually being unlimited, it's definitely going to put heroes at full power. Of course, heroes do still have a hero lives at 1, which is still going to be a slower thing, but that being said, you still have Stratos and Malicious both at 3. I think that the heroes will definitely be gaining a lot of popularity this particular format, so do expect to see a lot of hero decks. We are already seeing a lot of spikes in the price of all these hero cards, especially the Vision heroes, so if you guys want to grab them, try to grab them as soon as possible, because otherwise they're going to be spiking up in price really soon. Another card I'm happy that actually came off the ban list is also Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. Unfortunately, Pantheism is still at 1, but that being said, I think Monarchs are a little bit more playable now in this particular format. Not that it wasn't, it's just that with 3 Aether, it definitely makes the deck a lot more viable to actually I guess more players will be more confident to bring it to a regionals or even a YCS, just as a rogue option. It would be pretty fun, so hopefully I could actually get my hands on a Monarch deck myself, and then I could build up this, so it would be very interesting to see Aether at 3 in this particular format. Of course, I don't see too many big impacts at all. Next, we also have Insect the Dragonfly. Again, not particularly a card that we need to really go over. I don't really think it's going to be a big deal. It was semi-limited in the previous list, and it's going to unlimited, so it's not really much of a big difference. Overall, I think that it's not going to make Insectors broken or anything like that. I think there's definitely a lot more things that Insectors will need to actually be at a level that is capable of taking on the top decks of this format. That being said, I do see a lot of potential for Necros and Shadows, because with the new Shadow structure deck actually coming out, seeing that Construct is now back at 3 is perfect. It's really amazing. Very happy about that. So gonna be hopefully getting my remaining 2 copies of Construct just to get ready for the structure deck that will be coming out in January, I think. Not too sure about that, but very excited, of course. The ultimate rare constructs are currently going for $60 right now here in Australia. Very expensive. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult to actually find that. But that being said, Shrit is now also back at 3. That is pretty crazy. I mean, Shrit is a really good card just to search out both Brionic and Trishula himself. So seeing that we're actually getting Shred is just something that is awesome. I can't be any happier than this. This is just really amazing. So we might actually see a bit of potential with Shadows actually getting up there. I mean, they were already doing pretty well ever since the before Dual Power actually came out, because of the fact that we had this whole Vanity's Ruler lock. But now we actually have Shred at 3, and we've had Brio at 3 as well, so the search power is going to be really insane. As for the final 2 cards, we have Royal Tribute. Now, this card actually at first thought that it was going to be very significant, very broken, but that being said, looking at it as an overall, Gravekeepers really just can't do too much significant things in this particular format, even with 3 Royal Tributes. I think if anything, it might actually help out a few decks that actually have graveyard effects as well, so yeah, we'll just see how it goes, but I don't really think Royal Tribute will do too much. But that being said, Super Rejuvenation is a whole different case here. Yeah, you got rid of Argopane, but that being said, Super Rejuvenation at 3 is going to be very, very crazy. I remember this back in Dragon Ruler formats. It's just really insane to see that this card is actually returned, and seeing that a deck like Rockets could actually make use of this would be pretty cool. So I think it's a good balance, honestly. Having Super Rejuvenation come back to 3 while Agapane's now back is completely banned actually, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things go. I do think that Super Rejuvenation is going to be a bit crazy, so potentially it might be re-hit again in the next format. I just think that it's one of those cards that are just coming out here as a wild card to try and shake up the format a bit, but yeah, that's pretty much it about my thoughts on this particular ban list. So if you guys actually have any thoughts yourself, then please leave them down below in the comments, and yeah, we could actually have a full discussion on that. But that being said, this will be a very interesting format to see what happens. It's just so small, and what I like about this overall ban list is that we're actually progressing to a stage where we don't actually have to worry about our decks actually being hit by the ban list anymore, at least for casual players. I think every single list, casual players have always had to be worrisome of the cards that they could actually get hit from their decks just because they're generically played in all the top decks and everything like that, and I think that is definitely an unfair thing. But seeing this particular list, it's actually a really good list. I think in the past few lists already, there have been cards that actually either came off the ban list or were hit by the ban list that didn't affect too many decks, and I think that's a really good thing going down the line for the game, because obviously you don't want to have to worry about your card being hit. That could actually deter you from the game itself, so very happy about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, so I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.